Hello everyone. In this video I will be bringing any updates to Digital Combat Simulator. I may be a little bit late to the party, but at least I'm turning up. This was given out on the 8th of January, as you can see here, the newsletter. And it was just covering a roadmap for 2021. Basically the state of the sim itself and what release versions there will be, and what will hopefully be included in the in each release, plus all the updates that will take place to each individual aircraft made by Eagle Dynamics. So we'll go through this and we'll just make of it of what we can. So the DCS world itself, obviously their F-18 Hornet, their F-16 Fighting Falcon / Viper, A-10C2 tank killer, and obviously their supercarrier. So that's what this is the updates for the already released products. So with the F-18, be finalising it and be actually taking it out of early access. So by the end of the first quarter of this year. So that's a big thing, because a lot of these aircraft are early access that you can purchase on DCS. So yeah, just adding the final touches, just making it an all-round better product. Obviously, this update has already taken place with the expendable countermeasures, electronic attack. I'm not 100% sure what that is, as I always thought the Growler covered the electronic attack side of things, but that would be interesting to look at. Radar jamming effects, the sea and ground moving target radar modes, designated target sharing, the fuel page bit, practice bombs, BDU 45s and 45Bs. Then the remaining items will be the ATFLR targeting pod, which I believe is the navalised version of the I've really forgotten the name of the pod that's already on it. I'll come back to that one. The AGM-88 Harm pre-briefed mode, the AGM-84K Slam extended range, coupled with the autopilot modes. Once I have early access, the Hornet support will continue, obviously, with the addition of the AIM-7P, ACLS mode, wide ACM mode, and the data transfer cartridge functions, which that will be a really good function to have. Obviously, to have all of your mission on a cartridge done through the mission editor, so you can just plonk that in and everything will be loaded in from that cartridge, which I think that'll be a great addition. And then it will just be the last bits of maintaining and making sure that the module itself stays as good as it can be. And then once that's done, some of the team will be going over to the F-16, where the highest priorities here includes completing air-to-air radar modes and functions, additional AGM AAC harm modes, GPS INS guided weapons, expanded defensive systems, air-to-service radar modes, mark points, additional ICP and MFD options, and new weapon delivery modes. And then we move on to the A10C2. So the HOG is already nearly complete with the A10C already. Just the big update in variant number 2. but we do plan to deliver some additional features, including the ARC 210 radio, updates to the TAD, and changes to the optically guided Maverick slewing, and a long version of the AN-ALQ 184 electronic countermeasures pod. A long version. Okay. Anyone know the difference between the short version and the long version? If you can leave a comment so I can get up to date on that one, that would be appreciated. And then Super Carrier, which is already an awesome product in itself. It'll be the main focuses will be the 3D environments for the Ready Room Airboss station and the hangar deck, and then Task for 21 will include plane directors to marshal aircraft to catapults and off the landing area, deck crew light ones for night operations, unique radio channels for different controllers, and the manual LSO control, which that will be a great addition in itself as well. Make deck bolters interesting and landings when you've got someone on the deck to guide you. So that's it for the already out, the modules that are already out. So new aircraft that should be released this year, the Mosquito Fighter Bomber Mark 6. So that will be the first multi-engine, multi-crew World War II aircraft for DCS World, and it marks an important capability for future projects. The Mosquito is planned to be released in early access by the end of the first quarter of 2021, so you're looking around about March, April. So that'll be a good one to look out for. Then the awesome Mi-24 Hind. That will be. Now it looks like it's going to be planned for the release for the second quarter of 2021. So you're looking June, July time. So from what I've seen of that already, that's going to be awesome. And then obviously the AH-64D, which was a big announcement at the end of last year, and that looks like early access is planned for the third quarter of 2021. So you're looking at August, September time. The only and they'll have pre-sales as of February 2021 with a 30% discount. So if you want to get your 30% discount, this month will be the month to do it in, because obviously at the moment we're at the state of play as we're in the lunar sale / free to play until the 15th of February. So get out there and take advantage while you can. I did last year, and I got myself a lot of modules for very good prices. This is what Eagle Dynamics do very well. And they were very good to their customers last year, considering the current climate that we were put under as the human race in itself. A lot of jobs lost, financial tightening the belt of everybody. So it was really good of them to help us out as simmers with their month-long free-to-play in the first lockdown, and that got a lot of people interested in the sim, and then they had quite a few sales last year. I've never known a simming company to be so generous, to be honest. But they do seem to be a customer first company, and definitely one to stick with. I mean, with the release of Flight Sim, after playing DCS for a year and a half, I'm finding myself hard to get away from it, and with the generosity that the team have given us all, it just makes you want to stay. You feel like you're part of a sort of part of a family, which is really nice. We're appreciated as customers, and at the same time, they're appreciated as a dedicated, top rate company. So here's to more for the future on that one. Anybody that has the KA-50, due to new Russian Federation laws pertaining to the gathering of information of Russian military equipment, we've had to reconsider our plans to add new systems to the KA-50. We continue to update the cockpit as well as the highly detailed updated external model. Now I'm guessing there was a KA-50 Black Shark 3 in the works, possibly. I'm not 100% sure because I don't really do whirlybirds, so I wasn't really up to date on that. But that's a bit of a shame. But I can understand why that's the case. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Russians tighten up protocols even further, making it harder to develop such high quality products. Be a case of using artistic licensing, but anyone with the KA-50, which it looks like it's a good module in itself from what I've seen, may give it a go in the free to play at the moment and see what it's about. But yeah, that's a shame that's had to put a stop to that. Next is the modern air combat. Now I know very, very, very little about this. I didn't even know it existed. Despite the lack of updates on the project, it is still very much alive and we are making continued progress. Much of the work remains on the new gameplay modes, updating the 3D models and cockpits for the Mac aircraft, creating a new input manager wizard, and continued work on a new graphical user interface. We are shooting for the third quarter of 2021, so you're looking around September time, but latest December. Somebody told me, and I hate this phrase, it's a DCS for dummies. Now, I find that a bit of an insult. It's not a DCS for dummies. If anything, it's a DCS for people that don't have the time to learn the aircraft and just want to jump straight in and shoot each other down. Basically an arcade mode. It's not for dummies. It's definitely for the people that don't have the time because they have a busy life schedule, or they have a young family like I do myself. I've got a young family myself, but I spend a lot of time late night, early morning learning things on DCS. I burn the candle at both ends, which is a bit of a mistake sometimes, but it's the only time I get to myself. And a Mac, Modern Air Combat, would have been right down my street had it been released before the this version of DCS, the more integrated, detailed thing. But I think it's great that if that is the case, that they're making an aspect of the sim where people can go in, just jump straight into the cockpit, no messing around, simplified systems, and just go up, dogfight, bomb. Well, it won't be bomb; it'll be modern air combat. But yeah, I think that's a really good addition to have, because obviously that'll bring in new customers. I know the purists out there won't want people like that on their sim because a lot of people take the DCS simming very seriously. But it's for everybody, and if they can cater for everybody, then so be it. Not everybody has the money to buy all of these modules either. I mean, I certainly don't. I'm out of work, I'm disabled, and I have very little money, and what little money I do have has been spent in the sales. I mean, if there was a version of where you just had access to aircraft without the worry of having to buy extra modules or whatever, then I would have almost certainly have joined that. But I'm a bit of a purist myself. I like to do my pre-flights and start-ups and things like that. Always have been like that. But a modern air combat slash arcade is what I would class it, not DCS for dummies. Definitely is a good addition, and I look forward to seeing what it's all about. I mean, if it's a matter of just jumping in, if you've got 5-10 minutes, just jumping in and having a quick flight, shooting people down, and I'm all for that. It'll be a good laugh, and yeah, it'll be a good one to look out for. Next, maps. For our maps, we will continue to address bugs and map improvements to the Persian Gulf, Caucasus, and Nevada maps. Now, not a lot of people use the Nevada maps, from what I look at, but I myself do have the Nevada map, and I think it's a good addition, especially if you're just wanting to do training and things with your buddies, or even just setting something up for yourself and going in and just practicing the systems on your aircraft. It's nice, it's flat, you can see the targets easily. I think it's a great addition, and be interesting to see what extras they'll do for that. And as well as the Caucasus, I think the map is good as it is, but I'm no expert when it comes to terrain and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see what additions to that they can make. And obviously Persian Gulf is still not 100%, so yeah, but most of the map work will be focused on the channel, which will feature RF Biggin Hill and Eastchurch, so I'm looking forward to those additions to the map. And then you've got the free Mariana Islands, if it does indeed stay free when released. Look at Anderson, it's absolutely massive. That just looks amazing. I can't wait to fly from that. So be interesting to see what other additions they'll do to other maps, but looks like we're getting 2 extra airfields, numerous new landmarks, final release version of the map first quarter of 2021, so again you're looking at March, and then slated for release in the second quarter of 2021, so around June time again. This map will be the first modern day depiction, and it will include Anderson Air Force Base and several other airfields along the island chain. Combined with the Chinese assets pack, we see interesting single player and multiplayer possibilities. This is still planned as a free map, and it will later serve as the foundation for our first World War II Pacific Theatre map. I mean, that will be interesting to see how they'll regress all the advanced buildings and things like that to make it World War II era. So that will be an interesting one to look out for. So that's it for the maps. The new clouds, which they just released a video showing the new clouds, which looks phenomenal. It makes flight sim a bit of a null and void, really, because with this you've got the weapons element, you've got great scenery, when they released great clouds, and it will finally start looking, well, the best it's ever looked. I can't wait for the clouds to be introduced. The only thing I worry about is I'm running an ancient 4-core i5. Just worried about how that's gonna impact my processing. But again, I'm really looking forward to it. So looks like that's going to be about March time. In addition to being visually stunning, the new clouds will block visual and optical sensor line of sight and be synchronized online. Now that's awesome. I mean, it's a bit harsh when you're flying in cloud and you get shot down from surface to air missiles and things like that when you can't actually see the enemy. So that is going to be brilliant. So hopefully that will work both ways for you and the AI. So again, and just makes the whole environment top notch. We'll initially release the new cloud system with an array of weather presets that will cater to most mission building scenarios. Later in the year we will update the weather tool in the mission editor that will allow finer control of the clouds with dynamic weather system based on a more advanced meteorological engine. Excellent. Absolutely fantastic. And then we've got new visual effects coming. Again, I worry about my ancient i5. I'm probably going to have to scrape and find the funds from somewhere to get that processor updated. Some of the new improved visual effects in development for 21 include improved helicopter rotor wash over water and ground, missile flame and smoke, ground unit dust clouds, transonic shock cones. Now that will be a good addition, as well as just the sound disappearing. You'll actually get a shock cone, which will be good. Fuel explosions, weapon and water splash, further explosion improvements, and smoke grenades. We hope to have many of these available in stages throughout the year. Now, this was one that I hadn't known much about. It was a dynamic campaign. This massive task has been underway for over 2 years, and the progress has been exciting. The campaign is built around a real-time strategy foundation that factors resources, zones of control, logistics, available forces, and a strategic decision-making system. Now, the only time I've ever come across anything like that is when I've played the early combat flight sims, Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator, and IL-2. Never seen it being integrated into such a detailed simulator as this one, so that's going to be excellent. While we believe in internal testing will continue the first quarter of 2021, it is too early to estimate a release date. However, external beta testing is planned hopefully in quarter 2 or quarter 3 2021. Well, you don't want to rush it. I mean, you've been doing it for 2 years now. A few more months extra on top. I mean, what difference is that going to make? You don't want to rush it. So that would be a good one when released. Just not sure about the release date just yet, but be interesting to see how the beta testing goes. And then the Vulkan API multi-threading. With the integration of these libraries, DCS will benefit from improved performance throughout, including virtual reality. This has been a substantial task to develop and integrate into our code base, but we are nearing the end of this journey and expect it to be available in the third quarter of this year. So I believe it only runs on 1 core or 2 core, so it will be interesting to see how it runs with extra cores implemented. Next up is damage modeling. In the end of 2021, the new damage model system for our World War II aircraft was released. Although some tuning remains, most of our work on this front in 2021 will focus on bringing the technology to our modern aircraft like the F-18C, F-16 Viper, A-10C. This is an ongoing process which we hope to deliver in stages during the latter half of 2021. Then we're on to air traffic control. Over the past year, our primary ATC focus has been on the supercarrier. Now that the supercarrier ATC system is nearing completion, we will next move on to the airfield ATC radio comms. Given the scope of DCS World, this is not a simple task and will require 3 separate ATC systems: Western Modern Day, Eastern Modern Day and World War II. Because this effort will require a large amount of new radio voiceovers, we will also take this opportunity to update the radio comms for other entities like flight members, other flights, AWACS, tankers, etc. This will continue to be developed in 2021, but we do not have an estimated release date. Okay, so it'd be nice to see the ATC will be updated. Next, FLIR. So, new improved forward-looking infrared. In modern battlefield, a realistic rendering of the forward-looking infrared sensors is mandatory, not just for the aircraft but also for ground units, unmanned systems and weapon sensor video. Given the need to create the underlying technology and then create thermal maps for all the world objects, terrain surfaces and units, this has been quite a large task. We will continue to develop this well into 2021 and we hope to deploy this new FLIR enhancement in third quarter of 2021, so September. AI units, new and updated assets. This will be good. Because DCS World is built on a project spanning almost 20 years, some units now show their age and will be updated throughout the year. It is also important that we add new units to better fill the battlefields. Here are some of the items that we intend to create or update in 2021. So large aircraft B-52H, Tu-95 MS, Tu-142, which is the navalised version of the Bear, B-1B, IL-38 and the Tu-160. Carrier aircraft, the S-3B, which is already there as a tanker, so it'd be nice to see that improved, and the SH-60B. Ground units, M1A2, I think that's the Abrams, AMX-56 Leclerc, the Vesp or Wesp, SD KFZ 124, KS-19 100mm ADA, Sun 4 flat wheel radar, C1 Ariete, Panzer SA-22 Greyhound and S300 SA-10 Grumble. Cool. So I believe, we're on to our last section now, which is enhanced AI behaviour. Currently much of our AI engineering effort is focused on the AI aircraft behaviour, in harmony with the new damage modelling and in line with logical and understandable rules and practices. Additionally, the new ATC and radio communications will demand a significant amount of AI engineering. This work is ongoing and will probably never really be finished, but we do hope to deliver substantial enhancements during the latter half of 21. I can imagine that being a monumental task, so I mean, I can't blame them for saying that it will probably never really be finished, because how can it? I mean, you've got to think of every scenario. That's one hell of a task they're taking on for that, but good on them for it. We have taken the liberty of limiting this overview to issues which have officially been announced. Rest assured, many secret and exciting developments to DCS core are ongoing and will be revealed in the fullness of time. In addition to our internal development, rest assured our brilliant third parties are hard at work to bring you some wonderful modules in 2021, and look forward to hearing from them very soon. Once again, thank you for all your passion and support in 2020. We hope that 2021 will prove to be a good year, one with many upward trends, not only for DCS but for you, our faithful community and the world at large. 2021 onwards and upwards. That was a really nice ending to an awesome lineup there. Like I say, a very customer and community based. It's nice to see that they have their customer base at heart, as well as obviously the passion for the simming and making sure that they bring the best product they possibly can. Bit of a lengthy video, this one, but again, it's a bit of a lengthy letter to get through. Hopefully that's, if you've not already seen that, hopefully that's brought some excellent news to yourselves. I'm certainly really looking forward to this year in the simming world. It's definitely going to be a good one. One to get excited about for sure. But yeah, if you, I doubt you've got this far, so I could be saying anything. But thank you for watching my video. I just want to say thank you for all the views that I got for my previous video on the DC Designs F15 update phase 1. I mean that's only, I know it's only 400 odd views, but I really didn't imagine to getting that many views. So thank you for looking at that. But I will sign off now on this one because it's been way too long. You're probably bored of hearing my boring drone of a voice anyway, so thank you for sticking around, and all the best, and take care.